Have all members voted? Clerk will take the roll. There being 68 members voting yea, 24 members voting nay. The motion to dispense with the second and third readings of House Joint Resolution 1 is adopted. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Oldham for further action on the resolution.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Oldham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen. House Joint Resolution 1 is going to look strikingly familiar to most of you here because it is strikingly similar to House Joint Resolution 77 that we passed back during the regular session. There are a few changes that we made from that House Joint Resolution 77. And let me also point out that, to the lady from Jefferson 44's point, these are all executive orders that are in the public space already. These are things that the governor has asked to be extended. No, we did not extend every single one that he asked us to extend, but every order in here is already an existing order. Matter of fact, in conversations with the governor, he concurred that not only did the Supreme Court ruling that came down allowed us and permitted us to do a one-day bill process, waiving the readings, but he encouraged us to do so because he thought it was an efficient use of our time, especially on these things that have so been debated over the last 18 months. And I know that we've all gotten focused over those 18 months about those orders that divide us, about those orders that we disagree with, about masking, about capacity restrictions, about shutdowns. Those things are notable and worthy of debate. But the vast majority of the orders that we are extending here today are things that are actually very beneficial, things that will allow for the licensing of healthcare professionals, things that will protect us from price gouging, expand SNAP benefits to those that need them most now. And those are the things that I think that we absolutely should and must come around in a very, very quick manner. As the lady from Jefferson 44 mentioned, we will have several days to debate other issues. But on the things we agree, I think that we are tasked with and obligated to attack those aggressively, to show, as we have said, that we are capable of being a co-equal branch of government. We are capable of acting quickly, of acting reflexively, of acting nimbly. And I think that we are doing that. We're showing that we can do that here. With that being said, there's about 10 pages of these orders that makes for some confusing reading as you try to interpret some of them. But I will draw your attention to a couple of issues that are new to House Joint Resolution 1 that were not currently in House Joint Resolution 77. One of those being the inclusion of the provisions that we passed under Senate Bill 5 at the end of session, dealing with liability protections. Those will be extended, as well as provisions from Senate Bill 150 from the 2020 session that allowed certain flexibilities, especially with regard to unemployment insurance, with other enabling properties that we gave to small business owners in particular. There's another provision that is new to this one, and that is dealing with the state of emergency in Nicholas County. And with that, I will yield to the gentleman from Bourbon for an explanation of that.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Bourbon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. July 30th this summer, Nicholas County, Kentucky faced a pretty significant flood down there. We had 5.5 inches of rain, about an hour and 45 minutes. We had an area flood that's never flooded before. This is not a flood zone. Everybody there, nobody can ever remember this area ever flooding. We lost about 30 businesses completely underwater and washed away. Cars, vehicles washed down the street. We had one lady died when her house was swept away. We had about 90 residents that destroyed. We still have Nicholas County, as you all know from your districts. A lot of your districts are like this in rural Kentucky. There are no apartment buildings. There's no any kind of different housing. We still have families that are trying to find housing out of that emergency. We lost 2 ambulances. We had the ambulance bay flood, had probably 4 or 5 foot of water in it. We lost 2 ambulances. We lost 6 fire engines. We lost turnout gear. And the support that we've had from the surrounding communities has been absolutely incredible. And Carlisle's known as a little city with a big heart, and they've been in there and helping themselves, and other people jumped in to help them. But one thing that we can do up here for them is continue the state of emergency. And with that, I yield the floor back.
Gentleman from Oldham.
Thank you, gentleman from Bourbon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, I would move for passage of House Joint Resolution 1.